guys doing today? My name is Anthony from the Knights of Horror. On behalf of SoCal Exploring, I'm here with the man, John Murdy, the creative director at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. John, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's fun to be back with all the horror fans.
You know what? The first question right off the bat is, 2020 was a rough year for all of us, man, and we really missed Horror Nights. It's one of the staples at our every year that we go to, a tradition that we go to. I've been going since 2011, and it's something that I love doing. How was it for the first time since probably 2019 to come out and just see the fans and just
it was quite a moment. I mean, it was a little overwhelming because, I wasn't kidding. This is the most people I've seen in one place in 2 years, practically. But it was also a heartwarming moment because the horror community is such a unique community of people that, I think they're very supportive of each other too. And all the horror directors or creative people I've worked with are always the coolest people. Right. So it was kind of special to have that moment and looking out and going, wow, look at all these people are here again. Yeah,
it's definitely been an emotional weekend for the entire community just to get out and do something like this again, and it's been a great time. Universal Monsters, man, I'm a huge fan of these mazes. I'm a huge fan of Slash. I got to see Guns N' Roses back 2016. Great graduation present. And when I found out he was coming back for Universal Monsters in 2018, it was awesome. So going, with the relationship with Slash, what's been the best part about working with him? Obviously, he creates some of the most iconic scores for these mazes.
Yeah, it's just, it's a very unusual thing. I mean, like I've said before, like a lot of times I've worked with a whole lot of people at this point in my career and in horror and in other aspects. And usually just you work together and then you might stay in touch, but not the way that this has unfolded. It's he was, I'm not kidding, like during the pandemic, he was the number one person who checked in with me and my family on a regular basis, just to see if we're okay. How are you doing? Are you all right? Is everything okay? Yeah. So it's a real friendship that's developed over the years. And it's just an absolute pleasure to work with him. He always comes up with great stuff, and he loves doing it. So it's just a perfect marriage.
It's funny you say that too, because I have a lot of Orlando friends on the East Coast, and I'm always saying, we're always comparing and contrasting the different events, and I'm like, well, we got Slash, you guys don't, it's always a little fun time to just compare and contrast a lot of the stuff. Last question I have for you today, with, of course, The Exorcist returning, one of the most scariest movies to date. Yeah, when 2016, when it came, I actually brought a rosary with me because I was that scared to go in.
I wasn't far behind you on that. I was terrified to do that.
It's such an iconic film. With that, returning this year, is there any possibility of, much older mazes that you've done in the past returning in the future, potentially?
Yeah, it's always possible. I mean, obviously we're doing it this year, and we're bringing some back that were fan favorites from the past, like The Exorcist, like Pandora's Box, our original maze. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since we did The Exorcist, and it's really exciting to get to do it again, and try to get back in the headspace you were in when you designed it, you know, because it was not an easy maze to design. It's when you actually analyze that movie, it almost all takes place in a single bedroom, and the girl's always in the bed. Yeah. So it's like, how do we make a maze out of this? So it was quite a science project, figuring out how to creatively tackle it in the beginning.
Was it bringing back a lot of old trauma?
It's fun. The funny thing about The Exorcist is I was absolutely terrified of it. It is the movie that scares me more than any other movie, but the process of creating it the first time, which was capped by a week after we opened in 2016, I got a phone call from William Friedkin, the director of the film, and he wanted to come down and do a behind-the-scenes tour, and I got to take him through it, and he was extremely gracious and loved it and was telling me all these great stories about making The Exorcist, that I kind of cured myself of my fear of that movie, because I've never watched it the same way again after doing the maze. It changed. That tends to happen with movies. If you do something like that and you create something, spend all that time in it, it changes your perception of it.
Right. Well, John, we cannot wait for Halloween Horror Nights this year. It's back. I can't wait to opening day. Everyone's going to be 110%. I am super ready. Hope you're ready, man. It's going to be the audience.
Yeah, we're excited.
It's going to be a great time. Come Halloween Horror Nights, September of this year. We cannot wait. Thank you again, Mr. John Murdy.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys.